NCRP Productions presents Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 40. Welcome back to Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands. This is Barry, your Game Master. I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves and we'll get started.
Hi, I'm Jill and I'm playing Raya the Mourner.
This is Matt and I'll be playing Ayden Samir Carter.
Hello, this is Michael. I'm playing Dr. Everett Wolfe, the doctor specializing in calculus. No, that's not it. It's in chemistry and alchemy. There we go.
Hi everyone, my name is Ty. I play Ray Callahan. He punches things.
Hi, it's Sequoia, and I'm playing Frankie, the Undertaker.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro. I'm playing Dr. Desmond Wright. I do know calculus.
This is what makes you such a peerless surgeon.
That's right. I made sure.
Running the calculations.
I made sure to find out what the average amount of calculus was to the doctor and learned just a little bit more.
Above average amount.
Yes.
All right, so last time the group was heading out of the third Bedouin camp that we have seen. Here you picked up two travelers going with you, Zassar and Abrex. They will be joining your other two, Ra and Bess, from the first Bedouin camp that you guys came to. You are presently traveling with 16 camels and the group. You are heading out into the desert in the intention of getting to the lost city of Akhenaten. We've called it Mourner. I will flip back and forth between those, but that's where you guys are going. You found that you guys were heading out more to the west than to the south, which on the map was your expectation. You also seem to be following the horde of ghouls that had attacked the Bedouin camp the night before. So that concern welled up in everyone, and as they spoke to the two Bedouins who are taking you to the city of Akhenaten, they explained to you that this was the easiest way to go. This took you through some small canyons which started to release some of the heat. You don't have that oppressive heat hitting you as you move through these lower sections of the desert. In the evening, you guys finally stopped. The tent was set up and watch was sent. During the time that Raya was outside and inside doing watch, Dr. Wolfe had decided to start doing an experiment without a control group. He started cutting squares out of his skin on his leg, the idea being that he was trying to take small enough cuts to go layer by layer to figure out at what point did the wound bleed. After he got deep enough to where he was certain that the next step potentially would leave a wound that, if it didn't heal, could be disastrous, he stopped. Up to that point, the pain had been there, but it had not been excruciating. Everyone else looking at it was pretty uncomfortable, believing that there's no way they would have survived doing this cut without any kind of anesthetic of any sort. The wound was sterilized and bound, and the group went to sleep.
It's like a postage stamp size.
Small size, yeah, absolutely.
But still,
And the pieces of skin were then placed into a
separate jars for each layer.
Separate jar for the layers so that they can be studied in the future.
It's kind of my idea, but in true fashion, the doctor just co-opted it and took it for his own.
Yes, but we're working on your doctorate as we speak.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember, you're under an apprenticeship. I can grant you, by the power invested in me by myself, a doctorate.
Right.
An Egyptian doctorate. Yeah, back in London, I don't know if it'll still transfer.
Can you deputize doctor?
You're damn right I can. That's it, Ray, you're a doctor.
Stop
Oh, God.
Raya, doctor. Best
I prescribe
doctor.
myself alcohol.
Yeah, best practice.
The only cure for this is copious amounts of alcohol.
Oh, good sterilization. That's good thinking, doctor.
Honestly, yeah, you're halfway to doctorates back then, so.
Ray hasn't even had a drink recently.
I'm sorry.
So, as the night wound down and Raya was done with her watch, she went in to wake Frankie. Frankie came out, stood watch, and Frankie heard a wail come up the canyon. Frankie decided to wake everyone inside.
You're welcome.
Once everyone was awoken, you heard the wail a second time. Everyone heard it. And the four Bedouins, and I'll remind you that they have two slightly different sounds to the way they said it. But all four of the Bedouins, pretty much as one, said, Washa Washa Zagarit, which Ayden knows and Ray has heard is the whispering scream.
Don't love that.
And we start right there. So the Bedouins, each of them starts getting themselves fully dressed, putting back on boots, arming up, and you're not sure getting ready for what. What do the rest of you do?
I'm going to go to you, Ayden, and say, what is the whispering scream?
Ayden, you may know the term. Do you know what it is? Because if you don't know what it is, you might want to ask.
Is it mythology?
I'd like to make a mythology roll.
Very good. Go
Or I
ahead.
can BS and answer, whatever.
What an ominous
Just
question.
really pull out from this thing.
I kind of want to like go to a coworker or something. Do you know what the whispering scream is? And then walk away and never talk about it again.
Have you heard of the High Elves?
That's 14.
So with a 14, you know a little bit about it. It is newer, maybe within the last 50 years. A number of the Bedouin camps, Bedouins as they come into town, back into Cairo, will talk about the whispering scream. Generally, it portends evil or horror. In most of the cases where you've been able to follow it up, and this is, Ray, the point at which you know a little bit about it, the point where you guys have together been able to follow it up, generally, it is the sound heard before an attack of ghouls. So remember that in the desert, the majority of what we call animates in London, and what you guys were calling within Cairo Shadem, out in the desert itself, the Bedouins tend to call these ghouls. That term pretty much transfers right into Arabic or Egyptian. And so that sound seems to precurse the arrival of them. And so that makes a little more sense as he's explaining this to you, why all of them are weaponing up and putting on shoes and getting prepped.
How high are the walls of this canyon? Are they climbable?
Probably not. This looks like the canyon is windblown, so as it comes around corners, it cuts deeper and deeper. So you're climbing an outward angle if you're going up, and it's sandstone. So some portions will have a nice solid grip, and others will literally break away in your hand. You're talking about approximately a 15 to 25 foot scale, depending on where you're going.
And do I have an idea of which direction the sound is coming from, or is it just carrying?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
It's coming from the direction of where you are going. It's coming from the direction of the lost city, the city of Akhenaten.
I'd like to be able to see more. Is there a way that I could like climb partially up the wall to try to get a better vantage point?
Well, there's two options for you. One would be that, but again, it's a pretty severe climb. Though your character is strong enough, I don't know how much scaling history you have. It's not like there's handholds, and it's also not like you're carrying pitons or something like that you can jam into the wall. But where you guys are is in a slight downward slope, so you could climb the slope in the direction of the sound and potentially see, hopefully, farther down. You're not certain what's going to be at the top there. You guys didn't scout much up.
Okay.
Remember, also in this area, there is additionally a cave that goes in. You did not hear it from within the cave, but there's a cave that goes in. You guys were in it for a short period of time. You didn't do much in there. It's not huge, but it was an area away from the elements if you chose to step into it.
Okay, I'll look to the nearest person that I know will understand English. And I'm gonna say,
That's them.
Yeah.
You stepped into the tent. Remember, the tent houses everybody.
right. Okay, so I'm gonna say I'm gonna go scout ahead, and then I'll leave and head towards that.
Frankie, oh God.
And all of you will see without speech, Marud follows out.
That's my goal.
The Lannisters send their regards, Frank.
No, don't put that on him.
Barry, I'm going to be pulling my weapons and standing right outside the tent.
Okay.
I do know how to climb around here and stuff because I have acrobatics, so I'm going to scale up the side really
Do you have little
quick.
things?
Well, he wouldn't have the pitons or anything like that, but potentially climbing with footholds and stuff.
Yeah.
Do your
Footholds,
boots have little
handholds.
knives?
I could just throw you as well.
Yeah, that works. Let me see if I can follow my own, and
Oh.
then you can toss me.
Considering Frankie's gonna go do something, and Raya's pulling weapons. Everyone's pulling weapons. Oh God, dang it! Can't we have one night where nothing bad happens? And I pull out like both of my guns and just check them for bullets. And
As you're checking them, all of you at the same point, you'll hear the wail come through again. This point,
Oh, come
if
on.
you guys haven't
right?
said anything, if you guys aren't talking, which at the table you weren't, so I assume you weren't inside. For anyone who's in the tent, you will hear Billings say, "Now what's this? What's the sound?"
go check it out, Bill.
Come with me, Billings.
Mei-Ling. Oh, Frankie's not in there, so you don't
No,
get to
I'm
say
just
that.
kidding.
So you say come with me, Billings?
No. I'm gonna say, Billings, old boy, just stay in here. Stay with Mei-Ling. You'll be safe.
So Cal at this point comes up to you, Doctor, and says, Doctor, I think you should stay in here as well. In fact, I think it would be a good idea for the group of us, you, Billings, myself, and Mei-Ling, to move into the cave.
There's a cave?
There is a cave. And you did see it earlier.
Okay.
It's not deep.
I'll say, well, Cal, that is a capital idea. And I think, yes, you should take Mei-Ling and Billings and go into that cave. Personally, while I like to be safe, I don't like to be cornered as such. I like to be able to move a little bit. So, yeah, I'll stand outside the cave, or, to be honest, I'd rather be where Frankie is, but I think Frankie's gone off doing something.
Marud will keep Frankie safe as best he can. I think the two of them are going to be fine. Not certain you standing with one of those guns is going to be, if the attack comes the way at least history says.
Yes.
I'm just like, I want to tell Cal, fuck you, I'm good with these guns. You've seen me kill so many people, but I'm baffled.
Bamboozled.
Yes.
And to make it easier for you, Cal says, you may choose what you wish, Doctor. And Cal steps away and says, Mei-Ling, Mr. Billings, if you'll follow me, I say we move to another spot. Now, anybody who's left in the tent may make a wits perception roll.
Wolf, in the meanwhile, since things are going off, is putting together his bolt action Kramer 2086.
Oh, jeez. Putting it together? So grabbing the pieces out of the bag and...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's compact.
I like
Is this
it.
your gun or is this your syringer?
No, this is my gun.
Okay.
I don't-
That's right. We haven't really seen you use a gun, I think, since not Cambridge.
I don't think in this game we ever had.
No, in this one, no.
How the hell did you get that?
I'll answer that into question once I get my thing.
What do we have for rolls?
Sorry. That's unfortunately a 9 for me. So,
I've got an 18.
All right.
I got a 14.
And that makes sense.
well, actually,
So-
it's 8 because I forgot about the -1 penalty that I have currently going on.
Matt?
with me.
And I was going to say 16 for me to climb up the side up top there.
Okay.
And I'm pulling
So-
out my binoculars, not monocular.
Well, so you're working your way up the inner side.
Right.
16 will get you part way up. Once anyone goes out, you'll see him hanging from the cliff face, starting to move his way up. So, Ray, you will notice that as Mei-Ling gets up, she grabs something out of a small bag, slides it into her sleeves, and then follows out. You're not sure what, but it looks like she put the somethings in each of her sleeves.
Whose bag?
Okay.
Was that?
Do I know whose bag it is?
It's hers.
Oh, okay, then I don't care.
So, to answer Ray's questions, how the hell did you get that? It's like London, my boy. As I'm like putting the cartridge in for the moment.
Why does it come in pieces?
Well, all guns come in pieces. It just comes together. It's more compact to bring it in each individual piece rather than just slinging it through the desert.
Fully built. So, Frankie, go ahead and give me a running with the acrobatics.
There's the reason why
We're going to
the
go with
British
an
didn't win
acrobatics
many
roll.
wars.
If not, let's just go with a straight coordination roll.
He's also, it's usually, he's going out, groping. He's prepared for it.
22.
So it's like,
So with a 22, you and Marud scale that up fairly quickly. Again, you're climbing up with a slight covering of sand, so there's some slippage. You get to the top, and for the 4th time now, you guys will all hear that wail coming. For everyone back in camp, the camels are starting to make noise. They're making the kind of growling, snapping, spitting kind of sounds. So the two of you guys come to the top of that rise, and you're basically on the flat, and as you make a scan everywhere, neither of you sees anything, and Maru says, we should hold here.
Okay, we will.
So give me another wits perception roll.
Me?
Yep.
How cold is it? Like, if I go
It's
outside,
cold.
it's freezing, right?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
it's cold. Moving is going to help a little bit. Standing still, you're not going to be comfortable. You will be warmer in a cave than out in the wind. Go ahead.
14.
So with a 14, you see nothing, and Rude, you can see, is doing the same thing, scanning. So it is early morning as opposed to late night. We're going to say somewhere around 2:30 in the morning. There is a very small sliver of moonlight that plays down. And because of that, as you're looking, every so often you will see a shimmer. Now, how is Frankie with, I'm going to use the word ghosts, not spirits in general, but just that apparition that comes at you that you've heard stories of or actually seen? What is Frankie's history with that?
He's never seen one.
Okay.
And he doesn't think that he's ever heard a story of them hurting someone.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not afraid of them.
All right. So at distance, as you look, every so often you will see a wisp that has almost a human shape to it. The legs in each case end before you see anything like feet or even knees. And they're not clear. They're not even clear enough to decide if it's male or female. But every so often as you look, you will see something that has a humanoid shape. They are at distance, but they are odd. Either they are 20 feet tall and they are a long way off, or they are 14 inches tall and they are very close. Right now, the desert is playing games with you. And part of what you start realizing, now that you're getting to think about it, is the pelting wind, the heat-driven pelting wind that normally hits you during the day and has never hit you at night has picked up. So, Ayden, give me another roll.
So 14.
So with a 14, so it does take you a bit to get up there. It is not an easy climb. You are able to make your way over the edge of the lip and get on level ground, so you are effectively at the same general height as Marood and Frankie, although not directly where they are, of course. In fact, it's easy to see them. Give me a wits perception roll.
Back of my head looks very roguish.
Does having the binoculars have any bonus?
Will not have bonuses, but will give you something more.
I had a question about the specters. Is there any kind of discernible pattern to their movements?
No, they almost blink and appear at complete random. It's more than anything else, it's where your gaze just passed.
21.
So with a 21, what is your connection with ghosts in the desert?
He believes them. He believes he's just seen them
He believes he's seen them.
and had interactions, type of thing.
Okay, so your interactions, have they been speech? Have they been mental? Have they been somatic? Have they been simply sight?
He's been a couple times where he's been terrified. A couple times that it seemed to be benevolent. All matter of things like poltergeist type activity, or I imagine he's probably done. I don't think they called it the Ouija board, but one of those kind of like things. And he's probably been to a couple of seances and stuff.
Okay, so not evil, but not good.
Well, I think he's had some experiences that were definitely like, okay, I'm never coming to this place again because it's haunted by
Because it's
something
haunted.
by dark. But
All
he's
right.
also had positive
Oh, is that
experiences.
blood weeping out of the statues? I should probably
Yeah.
go.
Well, that's not ghost. Go ahead and give me a willpower.
It could be a
all right.
manifestation of ghosts.
Yeah, that's why he quit their buying real estate. Too many houses, oozing blood, and voices saying, "Get out!" Oh wow, that was not a best roll. Oh, criminy. Third time's the charm. Thank you. So that would be 13, 16 total.
So the 16. So with the binoculars, you are able to get your clearest picture of any that you have seen on the desert. They appear to be men. They are dressed, as best you can see from the shimmer, like Bedouins. They move towards you for anywhere from 6 to 8 walking steps, but very fast, and then they disappear. With the binoculars, however, you are able to identify them. They are human in height. As at best you can tell, there's not a whole lot of things to connect them to, but they are in human in height, and they are at distance, presently you would estimate as you're looking around catching them. And again, same as Frankie is, you catch them at the very tail end. So as you're moving the binoculars from left to right, they will appear at the left edge. And as you click back, you'll get 6 to 8 steps, and then they vanish. When you take the binoculars down, however, you're starting to realize that that movement seems to match the pelting wind that's hitting you, and you can also see the moonlight. You're certain you've seen them, but the scientific mind that sits in the back of Ayden's head says it's strictly shadow play. It's whatever is in the wind is glinting back, and they're not there. So you get to deal with that. For the group in the tent, what are you guys doing?
Light my lantern.
Oh, and I forgot to tell you. So the Bedouins all head out after Frankie and Marood. They walk, not run, and they have headed out two to each side, each direction that the canyon runs. So 2 that are backing up behind where Frankie and Marood went, and 2 going the opposite way.
Did I hear Cal tell everyone that they should go to the cave?
Yes, because you said you were standing guard at the door.
Okay, so I'm going to say, all right, let's everyone get to the cave.
Did the tribes mix, or did they stay separate?
Stayed separate,
Okay.
each of the pairs. And I'll remind you from the time that you have been traveling, there's nothing rude. They are congenial when they pass each other, but there is no connection between the 2 pairs of Bedouins. They're not high-fiving, passing each other drink, talking to each other. Basically, all as they move, they always move away from each other, not in concert.
It kind of feels like when you're with that one coworker where it's like, okay, I guess I gotta get through this shift with this guy. It's kind of how it's sounding.
Well, they are nomads, and as you guys have already learned, they appear to be competitive. So it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to kill you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're ever going to be friends.
At the drop of the hat, they can go from allies to I need your land because my people are starving.
There you go, and that's a nomad life. So for the 3 of you that are in the tent, Raya just told you to come with me.
All right, Mr. Billings.
Billings.
Dr.
Those
Wright.
3 have gone. So it's Wright, Wolfe, and Ray.
All right.
Wait, where's Cal?
Cal's already gone.
Cal already gone?
Yeah, because
Oh.
you told Cal, I'm not coming, and Cal kind of...
Dr. Wolf, we
Perfect.
really must hurry.
Now, let the
Now
lad
I'm
work.
And he slings the rifle over, grabs his valise, and heads out.
Okay.
Okay.
Ray,
I'm already packed.
and doing what?
I mean,
Raya's told you to go.
I guess we're going to the cave. So.
Okay, and Dr. Wright.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. I definitely am not going to be the first one into the cave.
No problem.
But I'll go cautiously.
So
Yes. And I have my lantern out, my big gun in the other hand, and I'm looking around, making sure nothing's coming. I'm
Where's your
concerned
cane?
about behind us.
Where's your cane?
What cane? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm like thinking now. I'm like, where did I put that?
Packed on the camel?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So as you guys make it from the tent towards the cave, there's going to be a 6th whale. This one is different. Everybody make a willpower.
Today. That's 15 for Dr. Wolf.
21.
Also 21.
I actually got 22.
19.
You said will roll?
Will, yes.
Forget your concentration.
Oh,
I
then
can't forget on
23.
this. 16.
16. So for all of you, an icy chill runs from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. And both doctors stop. Everybody else, I'm not going to say you're unaffected, but you continue doing what you're doing. And Ray and Raya, you will see both doctors stop. Both of them are very cautiously turning their head and looking.
Doctor, we need to go. Come on, we need to go.
Add 4 to a will roll. Give me another roll.
Dr. Wright, you need to move.
Yeah, that's way. that's
Same thing. Add 4 to the will roll.
That's 28.
28.
Yeah.
You will follow.
23.
Okay. So the group continues moving in. As you move into the cave, Cal already has Billings and Mei Ling inside on the left wall. and they are starting to put together a pile of something. Quick guess, now that you've had a moment to look, it looks like they're building some kind of a small fire. You can, once you get inside, and you're going to also hear this, Ayden, although it's going to sound a little bit warbled as it comes up the canyon, you guys are going to hear the camels lose it. And there is a tearing and a rending, and you can now hear the camels clamoring. You can hear the Bedouins yelling, and again, it's being lost a little bit in the wind, and within maybe 30 seconds, Ra brings in 2 of the camels to the cave and looks at whoever's closest, which is probably Raya at the front, hands their leads to you and says, Bubba, you're not going to know what he's saying, but he hands the reins to you. The camels are wide-eyed, and they're pulling away from you. It doesn't look like they don't want to go into the cave. It looks like they don't want to be here at all.
Can I use my ride skill to help calm them down?
Give me a roll.
I'm gonna be going to the other side of the open cave mouth because I don't want to be in here and not see what's outside.
Gotcha.
So
okay, and right now there's camels blocking your sight.
Is that small the cave mouth?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wolf's getting to at least
15.
a point where it's somewhere down in the cave, but where there's a rock, so he can at least prop himself up with the rifle if he needs to, so he can be undercover.
What do? You seem to have the camels calming a little bit as you talk to them, and you're guessing that if nothing else, your talk is overcoming the sound of the wind that's coming through here.
So once I calm them down a little bit, if there's room in the cave,
there is.
I want to get them inside the cave and try and tie them up to something.
Okay, tying them up, not so much. As you bring them in, you'll notice that Wolfe is already set up by the rocks. That's about as far in as you can go.
I'm going to hand the reins to Dr. Wolfe.
Well,
And
I don't know how well I can aim and hold on to them in case things start coming in.
Dr. Wright, you can hear, everyone can hear what's being said in the cave unless you whisper.
I'm going to be right outside. They won't come in.
And Dr. Wright, you're going to see Zasser bringing in 3 of the camels.
Is there even room in this cave for all these camels?
It's going to be tight, but he brings them over. He brings them over and says the same word that was told to, and you were up front, so you heard it, to Raya, and looks around and then hands you. Doesn't look like he wants to. He kind of tentatively hands you, but hands you the reins.
And I'm like, I have a gun and a lantern in my hand, so I guess I'll loop the lantern handle through my arm and grab the
all right.
camels.
And what do you do with them?
What does he expect
Go
me to
in
do?
the cave with the camels.
Raya,
Go in the cave with the
I'm in
camels.
the cave, Raya. I'm outside. You want me to go deeper into the cave?
So once I get everybody in, I'm going to tell them I will be right outside, and I want to blend into the shadows.
How far outside the cave mouth?
Probably just right outside the cave mouth.
Very good.
But I want to try and
Oh, there goes my.
conceal myself.
So I bring the camels in. Think for
You'll
a
notice
moment.
as you bring them in that Dr. Wolfe has 2 camels that he's holding presently
I'll
and
say
looking at them.
And he's just holding here, at least the gun rifle's propped up on
Sure.
his thing, so he can at least, if he needs to, he can let go and get there.
I thought you were gonna say it's propped on the camel.
This is my cannon on top of the camel. Just these 2 humps are perfect to hold a rotating turret system.
They're one humpers. I was pretty sure they're one humpers.
Yeah, I know.
my boy, I think I got a solution to this. Billings, I have an utmost important job for you. Get over here.
I hate. That's a good idea, Doctor.
It's a good enough idea.
Okay, so Billings comes over, and I'm going to hop to Ayden real quick. Ayden, up on the cliff.
Okay, so hearing the camels, I'm going to look over in their direction. Have they
So
all
as you
ran
look
off?
down, the camels scatter.
Okay.
You'll watch the Bedouins on both sides trying to do that, corral them, capture them in, and a couple of... So 2 are caught on the right, when you're looking down at the camp, on the right-hand side, 2 are caught. A number of them run past, and one of the Bedouins has grabbed one, but is presently fighting as he's being drugged in the direction of Marood and Frankie. On the other side, the camels are grabbed fairly quickly by the Bedouins that are there. 3 of them are grabbed up. The 2 of them then are looking around, at which point a couple of the camels zip past, and The other Bedouin who does not have the 3 goes and chases after them. This is going to the left, away from the direction that Marud and Frankie went. If you're going to continue watching, we have one of the Bedouins bringing in from one side 2 camels. A little bit later, 3 camels are brought in, and then each of them, you see the person run back out in the directions the camels ran. Frankie, for you and Marud, go ahead and give me a wits perception roll.
17.
So with a 17, you guys will hear the camels coming. Marud looks back and immediately puts away the weapon that he had, which is the large spear. Puts it away and gets ready to catch one.
I will follow suit.
Okay. He is able to get a hold of one, but it is dragging him. What are you doing?
Reaching for the other one. Marud's got that. Is this a cord?
Yep, you're basically grabbing for a cord.
21 with... So you want coordination or vitality?
Coordination for this one.
Okay.
Now that
21.
you've got it, a vitality roll to rein it in.
21.
So you dig your feet in and slow it. It turns, it bucks and is pulling against you. What are you doing? You have control of it in the sense that it is not running any farther, and unlike Marud, and moments later you think, Bess, the camel's not dragging you away.
Okay, wait, so I've got it now.
You have it?
Okay.
I would use the word controlled, but not under control.
Okay. I don't know how Frankie would react to a camel. So what he's going to do is, like everything else, try to muscle it into submission.
Yep.
So I'm going to grab the cord with 2 hands and pull its head down so
Yep.
that it's, hopefully it will stop doing what it's doing.
Right. Well, once you put that strength on it, it stops bucking against you. It's not calm, but it's not trying to pull out of your grasp.
Is there another of our guides with us that I can hand this to?
At this point, now that you've been fighting with it, yes, another one is coming up. Since you saw Bess get drugged up, it's Ra that comes up.
I'm gonna gesture with the cord and say, "Help an Egyptian."
So he will look at you. He'll look at the other camels that are going and come back to you and grab the one you have.
Oh,
And he says a whole bunch of Egyptian
I
words.
misunderstood. I thought that there was just 2 camels coming this way. There's multiple?
There are a couple others that come back. They didn't all run at the exact same time.
Okay, so do you think that there's time for me to hand this off and then grab another one?
To go chase after one, we
Yeah.
can let you do the chase.
So that's what I would do.
All right, so give me a sec. Ayden, from up on the
So-
cliff wall.
Sitting there thinking about the ghost. I kind of have the idea. How high up is it?
You're about 25 feet up
Is
from
it-
the floor.
Is there enough of an angle I could slide down and maybe
No,
do a
wrong
roll?
direction.
Oh, it's
If
like
you hop
that
off the
way.
cliff, yeah, it
Okay.
angles negative. So if you hop off the cliff, you just go right down.
Okay. I mean, with acrobatics, I assume I could do a break fall type of thing if I wanted to
From
jump.
25 feet, yeah, you know that
It's like
it's
a second
sandy.
story, yeah.
I don't think you're going to want to do that, but you might do a partial climb down and drop from a lower space if you want to re-climb back down.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
Go ahead and give me an acrobatics roll. Give me a -1 from that roll.
Okay. Ooh, okay. That's a 6.
We staying with a 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can always roll something from the middle pool. We got a full pot at the moment.
But it would be funnier.
Maybe you don't break your femur in the middle of a cool attack.
Okay, I'll
It always
spend
give you
one.
the joke where you just suddenly just jump from its
Literally the same roll. So.
All right.
Oh, no.
Very good. So you make a quick climb over. The wind pushes against you as you got yourself set. The wind catches you. You lose grip where one of the handholds basically disintegrates in your hand, and you fall. You are going to take a light wound or a flesh wound too, and that would make sense. You come down hard on your left leg.
Oof.
Oh,
Ah, jeez, Ayden!
And
I can fix
for
that.
you, Raya, you will hear Ayden cry out as he lands. It's not a oof. It's a little more like ah.
So if you already have a light, that ups
It
it,
doesn't
right?
change anything.
Oh,
It
okay.
just means you've got a light.
this
All right,
is our Wilhelm
so-
scream moment.
So I'm gonna. That's funny, my cousin. No. I'm going to go over to the tent.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like on a tarp? Is it still standing?
The
Is it-
tent is being whipped around. You are reasonably certain the tent will go down if
Okay.
the wind continues to increase like it is.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to grab it. I'm imagining it's like there's a part I could get like a sheet. Basically, I want to cover up the cave entrance
quick thinking, you don't think you can do what you want. There's no place to hook it to.
Well,
but
I was going to use pitons to put it into the rock.
it'll damage the tent. Okay.
I'm more thinking if the ghouls can't see us, the ghouls can't eat us.
Very good. All right. So Raya, you're going to see him fighting with. Remember, this is this houses 14 people inside the tent, all with enough space to sleep. Not like there's a whole ton of room, but it's.
I'll
a big...
come out of the shadows and help him.
All right. So both of you guys go ahead and give me coordination. No, it would be vitality. Give me vitality rolls.
Raya, I really do imagine it like you just kind of like meld out.
I do.
Yep.
Just like not so much stepping, but like floating out.
So Frankie, you are chasing down one of the other camels, and what'd you give me for a roll?
I
Or
didn't know
have
what to roll.
Okay, go ahead and give me we're gonna do it as a close combat or a unarmed combat roll. Yep.
Hell yeah. 21.
Okay, so you will grab another one that's coming out, and you got it. You're gonna give a fight with it, but it doesn't fight too long. But again, same thing. It's thrashing at you more because it's trying to look left and right more than anything else.
So I'm going to say in Egyptian, it's okay, over and over again in as calm of a voice as I can.
And are you going anywhere or just
I'm pulling
standing?
it back the way that we
So
came.
you're coming back down. So, Dr. Wright, inside the cave, you've asked Billings to come over. Billings comes over, and the camel closest to him, though you have it face grabbed through the reins, through the bridle that it's got on it. As Billings comes closer, it looks at him, and it tries to lunge at him, and you can hear the teeth clack, snap at him. And Billings says, "Oh my, they're not friendly. This isn't mine."
Well, yes,
Right.
it's not your.
Right. There's a few other things you have to think about.
Bonagal is inside
have,
of Billings.
What if we have to fire the guns in here? That's going to start the camels already more than that. We need someone with actual strength, and no offense, Billings, but I don't know if you can hold 5
Well, but
camels.
5? No, I can't possibly hold 5.
Yes, you're right. Okay.
What about him? And he points right at Ray.
Ray, my boy? Yes, that is correct. Ray, hold these. Wolfe and I are going to go to the front of the cavern, and so that we can make sure nothing comes in.
The one that
Right.
snapped at Billings, because Billings hasn't
You
moved,
two are gonna stop the zombies.
is still
from coming in.
pulling at you.
Okay.
I'm holding the gun up, and I'm just like, just nobody fucking pay attention
No,
in
well-
my head to all of the heads that I've exploded this whole time.
Dr. Wright, I'm already set up perfectly in case anything starts coming in. I think I'll be fine
Well,
right
for the
here.
record, I don't think you're gonna see anything with the tent they're trying to put on the doorway.
The what?
Yeah, you guys will see him.
I've parked a camel fur to look over.
Move the hump aside
Yeah.
just a little.
Move
Move the
hump.
hump down.
These are the upgraded camels with the movable hump.
Yeah,
Or
like,
what is it? Cool.
It like
Very.
clicks in,
I
and you
rolled
have
a
to press it
17.
to click it to.
Telescopic.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so 17 and
I had you say coordination?
yep.
24.
So
I got double
you
zeros
guys
on
aren't
it.
able to wrangle the tent itself. Now, pulling out the tacks that are put in place, chances are they're going to blow around a bit, but the wind is not so strong that they're going to blow out into the abyss.
Right.
As you guys are bringing out the tent, however, inside sleeping rolls, any bags that were left, that is starting to get blown around. So, you guys are bringing the tents. You are hammering with tent pegs. You're hammering the tent slowly into the wall.
Right.
Go ahead and give me a vitality roll. Raya, give me a vitality roll for basically holding it up as he moves his way around it. So, Frankie, you caught up to this one. You got it under control, as much under control as it's gonna be. What are you doing?
Moving. So, okay, just so I'm understanding, I had to run further in the direction we were already heading to catch them.
Yes.
And now I'm heading back towards where we came.
Yes.
Is there another camel coming that I can see?
Yes.
I'd like to try and catch that one too.
All right. So go ahead and give me a coordination roll for that one.
I'm gonna chip. Oh wait, I have 2. I'm gonna do one more reroll.
Ray, are you going to take the camels?
Sure, I'll take the camels.
Okay.
18.
So with an 18, you come in. The camel kind of sees you. It does the dodge thing, and you grab at it, and the two of them move around you, spin you around, and now it's you holding them both back with strength.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I don't have any good Egyptian word. parts for this.
It's the Spider-Man 2 train thing where you're just holding the camels.
So Ray, go ahead and give me a vitality roll. Because Billings has not moved away, the concern of the freak out from the one is starting to work into 2 of the 3 of them.
The camels?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Camels are starting to buck. They're snapping in Billings' direction.
I got 25.
All right, so they're not moving anywhere. Okay. What are you doing with the 3 camels?
I thought I had 5 camels, but okay.
Well, you got 3 so far. You haven't gotten the 2 from Dr. Wolfe. He was complaining that you should take them as well.
I'll take the stupid camel.
All right. And so you basically, are you standing holding them? Are you sitting down holding the reins? Are you walking away from the middle of the cave? Again, the cave's not
clearly
huge.
they don't want me to be in this fight, so I'm just going to stand there with the camels.
Okay.
All
All
have an
right. So the
important
2
job.
that are bucking, moments later turns into 3, and they're all bucking and trying to see over their shoulders at where Billings is.
You guys are all telling me I'm wrong.
Okay, my thought goes to Billing has like a cookie in his pocket or something.
Camel chow.
Yeah, there's something.
They're all like trying to look at Billings.
The three of them so far, yeah. You didn't see the first one snap at Billings. You did hear the reaction, but you did see the second one eventually as they're moving. The 3 that Dr. Wright brought in, they're all bucking and trying to look back at Billings.
Wait a minute.
Can I just turn a little bit so they can look at Billings?
Mhm.
What does that do?
So that makes them back up into you. Go ahead and give me a coordination roll.
Oh, Jesus.
As I return to go, so these camels are currently having an issue with Billings.
Yep.
I stop, and I turn around to Billings, and I look Billings up and down. Does any of his clothes look ripped, torn, disheveled?
Nope. No, actually, not disheveled.
Are they different clothes than when we were attacked by animates last? Did he change his clothes? The
When
point
were we
is-
last attacked by animates?
At the Bedouin camp,
in the
the last-
bazaar? Or the last Bedouin camp?
Yeah.
No, he is not.
Okay. Billings is my old boy. I'm gonna stop going towards the cave and I'm gonna come over to him. Have the camels been acting this way to you since we've been traveling out here?
Well, just the one when I first got on, you remember, he bit me, but other than that, no, they've been fine.
I look. So I'll set. I'm gonna lift the lantern up. I'm gonna holster my weapon.
Ray, what'd you get?
13.
Actually, I don't holster my weapon. I hold it up. I do. I holster because I say, Billings, hold still for a moment.
And as you say that, you hear Ray start complaining, grumble, and trip as the camels basically back over him.
Shit, I'm going to rush over to try to get the camels off of him.
I assume Ray has his handle.
So as you turn, all the camels are facing Billings, and they all just kind of bumble backwards, getting you caught in the mass of their legs and bulk. So they knock you over. They don't actually step on you, but you need to stand up. Give me a coordination. You can opt not to get up.
15.
Okay. And Wolf, what are you doing seeing this?
I saw this. I'm going to go over there to help him and try to get the camels under control.
All right.
There's clearly something else.
Go ahead and give me a coordination roll, Dr. Wright.
So I say, hold still, Billings, for just a moment, and I bring my hand to his eyes, and I want to check his eyes. How is he looking?
Well, you get the first eye open, and Mei Ling puts her hand in between you and him, grabs his right shoulder, turns away. She goes, "Dear, what are you doing over here?" And walks him away.
Mei Ling, hold on a moment.
Yes?
Please bring Billings back here.
We don't have time for this, Doctor.
Mei Ling,
Cal says
there
the
is
same thing.
something-
Dr. Wright, what are you doing?
Currently, these creatures are afraid of him.
I don't think
They
so.
are concerned about him. My question is why are they concerned about him when what they should be concerned about is out there?
I think Mei Ling says, I think that's what they're concerned about. Cal says, I believe that's what's going on. You've heard the howls, you've heard the wind, it's picking up, it whistles through the
I
air.
say
I think
no
as soon
more
as-
of that. Billings, get over here immediately.
Wolf's helping Ray. He got 14 on
So
this
you
coordination.
guys inside are hearing that. You two doing the cave front, you can hear pieces. There are Ray's voices from inside.
So-
You can also hear the camels.
So I'm I hope there's enough in the sand. I'm going to push the sand over the edge to kind of blend it in, the tent wise.
Okay.
I'm leaving in an opening, and I'm going to go grab the stuff.
So when
real
you're saying
quick.
an opening, it's a full
Flap.
tent flap. So you're leaving the right hand side or the left hand side untapped.
The right side assume is pointing to Akhenaten. It would be the
No, left would be pointing to the city of Akhenaten.
Then I'll be doing the right hand side.
Leaving the right hand side flapping, and then
Right.
doing what?
I'm then going to run over and grab the stuff that was in the tent.
And to go
that I
chase it
can,
down. Okay.
And go throw that back into the hole.
All right. So back inside. So Mei Ling turns Billings back to you and says, "Doctor, this is absolutely ridiculous."
Mei Ling, as the physician here,
And
I say
she
you.
looks right at you in your eyes.
Mhm.
Give me a willpower.
Oh,
Mei
you're
Ling's
in
about to get shot. Is what she's about to get.
Don't shoot Mei Ling.
If she tries to whammy me,
If you don't know, though,
well, it depends on if I know.
if you shoot Mei Ling,
You've got it coming.
I just hope you get her the first time because she's
that's
gonna
17.
you better make it count.
because you're gonna get to experience.
So with a
what
17, you feel the force of her. Okay, as she says to you, "This is a complete waste of time." Continue.
I'll say, well, Mei Ling, I see we don't operate on the same level of respect that I thought.
Doctor, we do, but look.
One
listen,
thing that
everything's
I
going on.
do not stand for is for someone to mess with my mind without my saying so.
What are you
If
talking
you
about? And
ever-
you watch Mei Ling
Yeah.
turn towards Cal and turn back to you. What are you talking about?
Mei Ling, you can play dumb all you want, but I will tell you this, and once and only once. If you ever attempt to do that on me without me asking, in fact, I probably will never ask again, I will put a bullet between your eyes so fast you won't be able to speak.
She says, Doctor, you seem to be losing. Go ahead. Look at my husband.
Losing.
We are
He lost
wasting
it a
time.
while ago.
Says the guy getting up from the camels. She says, if you must, take a look at my husband
We'll take the camels from you.
and
so
then
you can
finish. So she turns him back to you.
Okay, I say, get over here, Bill.
Oh, he's there.
He's
She's
right
brought
there.
him back. She brought him back as she was talking.
Okay, excellent.
I'm close.
As I open the flap to toss some things in, I see this. I go,
you're
come
not
on,
done
not
building the
this
flap
shit
yet.
again.
No, sadly, you're not done putting the
Oh,
flap
okay.
up yet. That is, you are fighting wind.
Okay.
So,
And at
Once
any
again-
time, anyone in the inside can do something.
will say, I swear, I do exactly what you all want. I try to be a doctor, and this is what I get. I get somebody
Doctor.
trying to mess with my brain
Doctor,
and
nobody's messing with your brain, and you're not doing doctoring things. What do you think is wrong
Mei
with my
Ling, I
husband?
want you to shush right now. I want you to be quiet. And then I look at Billings.
You
and-
again feel the force of
Mm-hmm.
her. She doesn't say anything. You feel the force of her, but she shuts her mouth.
And I say, I was going to do this calmly. I was going to do this in a nice manner.
Do this quickly.
Well, now, and then I say, Billings, remove your jacket and I lift up your pant legs. We need to look for bites on you.
What? Oh, of course. Everybody in the cave. Billings is disrobing.
Yeah.
Jacket goes off.
Wolf
Shirt cuffs
scrubs.
come up. Shirt drops off. Pants drop down.
That's
He steps out of
perfectly
his
enough.
pants. He takes his underbloomers off.
Is
He then
secretly-
takes off his sock. What's that?
Is he secretly ripped?
No,
I just said lift his
Hey,
pant
hey,
legs.
not at all.
Hey,
He
round
says,
is sexy.
and he holds his hands up. He says, "Please, doctor."
Is he secretly into this? That's what I.
So I tell him to turn.
He turns
Do
slowly.
I see any bite marks?
No, he looks to be a man of your age.
Yeah.
Right?
So
You don't look to be a man of your age, but he does. And he turns around and he says, "Anything? Anything? Was I bitten?" He lifts up a foot. He bends over and looks at his feet, aiming right at
Yeah.
you.
I say,
lifts
yes,
up his
Billings,
foot.
you're fine. You can put your clothes back on.
Oh, thank God. And Mei Ling is just staring at you, angry, but
I
not
say-
saying a word.
That could have gone a lot easier, Mei Ling. And I'll turn to go back towards the cave face.
All right. For the rest of you, Billings puts on his clothes reasonably quickly, too. It's cold.
And now I have another enemy to add to my list.
Exactly. So, Frankie,
Everything
you are
that is
dragging
believed
them
has
back
happened
down.
again.
Yes.
Okay, as you're coming down periodically, you're going to have to get control of them as the wind whips periodically. So now it has changed from a constant wind to a wind strip, and then it'll strip in again. Marood, you can see, has gotten control of his beast and is starting to drag it back. Best seems to be doing okay with the one that he's dragging. So you guys are moving them back in. For you two, as you're finishing the tent, Ayden and Raya, you're going to see the other two Bedouins coming in with 3 more camels between them.
I'll hold the slot open for them so they can get.
So when they're brought in, what everybody in the cave is starting to realize is the camel odor. They're not crapping, but the camel odor in general is in here. There are enough now that the breathing and the body and the sweat and the fear is there. It's not overpowering. You're aware of it where you were not aware of it at all. So they will bring in the 3, and then the 2 of them come in, walk the camels over to the 2 of you, Ray and Dr. Wolfe, and they will take the reins from you, and you're thinking it's Zasser will look at that Ray, look you up and down, and then kind of raise his shoulders and take the camels from you.
I don't know what he's talking about.
So you two, Raya and Ayden, you've gone ahead, you've gotten the flap up, or the tent cover up. The wind again whips through, so as you go out to pick things up, periodically something will blow away from you. If it wasn't so frustrating, it would be comical to watch you guys chase things. But as you collect stuff, your valise, Dr. Wright, does it have papers inside?
Not loose papers.
Not loose papers?
I got a journal with a lock in it.
Go ahead and give me a die 10 roll. You need to roll a... So it would go up, so you need to roll a 3 or higher. That's all we're doing, just a single roll.
A 1!
Okay. All right. So as you guys are starting to bring things in,
It was the craziest thing. This book just suddenly exploded.
you'll notice that the valise, you can find the valise, it has been blown up a ways. It is open. There are a number of cracked vials in the area around it.
Oh no, the meth.
Those are pills, don't worry about it.
Cracked vials are probably not good. I'll just close it
And bring it back?
Yeah, see if there's anything I can see that, like, papers or, containers or anything. That
Nothing loose that didn't... It looks like it maybe rolled and spilled or rolled and cracked open. So I'm going to have you, Pedro, roll for the things inside. You're going to lose 2 vials of something. I'll let you do it at random.
Oh, sure.
So you'll bring that in. You guys are bringing in the foodstuffs, a number of other things. As you're starting to see camels for the people inside, we are going to...
3 was meth.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I lose what, 3 doses of meth?
Well, 2 vials. You decide how much that is. You've lost 2 vials, 2 different vials of something.
Why did the ghouls
they're
have
pill
missing
bottles,
teeth?
so I don't know. I had 16 pills of them. 10.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
I don't
with
know
that.
I don't know how many I would have kept it. I would have probably kept them all in one
At
bar.
least
So if they're all in one, maybe you've lost something else.
Okay, then the next.
So for the
we'll
people
say that I
inside
lose-
the cave who are not directly involved in something, it dawns on you that different camels had different things. The camel with the billings gets brought in by Frankie.
No.
So thank God that survived.
Yeah.
Did you want me to lose all of the amphetamines and something else? Or
I want you to lose 2 vials. You decide what they would have. You know better than I do what's in that valise.
Angel would probably be better
Okay.
to be lost than
Very good.
the amphetamines and their vials.
Spoke just like a meth addict.
So for those of you that are looking, you'll notice that so far, nobody has brought in a camel that has foodstuffs.
Right. No.
Okay? So as Frankie brings in the 2 that Frankie's got, one of the 2 camels with foodstuffs comes in.
Alright. Yeah. Wolf's actually going to check the packs to see which which ones have them. If there's obviously this is the food stores. Are they contaminated? Are they still good?
Doesn't look to be contaminated. I mean, they're still connected to the camel. They're slightly sloshed because the camels turned and ran.
Gotcha.
If Wolf comes near me, I'm gonna hand him the reins and go back out.
No,
Okay.
Wolf's going to take them. So yeah, at this point, Wolf's just kind of resigned to the fact of camp.
So you walk up, at which point the one of the two Bedouins comes over and takes it from you.
Oh.
I say, oh shit, where's my valise? And I'm gonna go try and find it.
All right, so as you go out, Ayden brings it into you and hands it to you. Do you say anything or do you just hand it to him? Okay.
So is Raya still outside?
Yes.
Okay.
Raya moments later comes in with more stuff from inside the tent. So everybody had, if I remember correctly, everybody in the group has the camp kit, I think is what we called it.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody had some form of a bedroll and blankets. Everybody had some form of an eating kit, those kind of things. And most of that is packed, thankfully, because you guys went to bed, but it was out there. So that's what they are bringing in.
If I look in my valise, what's gone? Just those 2 vials?
That's all that's gone.
The paper's still there?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. It didn't blow open, but it did. It looks like it broke open and got close because there's sand in there.
It allowed other things to enter.
Yeah. Well, it is an extra dimensional place.
So a little bit later, Ra and Bess come in with one more camel, and moments later, Marood comes in. You two and Ray, did you say you're going out and bringing stuff in as well?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so you'll all see them come down here. There has not been, now you would estimate maybe 10 minutes, there has not been a whale. For most of you, that's going to now connect because you're starting to get, okay, we're all into a different space. It is tight inside the cave, and as Marood brings in one more camel, you realize that you guys are 3 camels short as of now. Marood goes over and talks with, and the camels are all towards the back, probably pushing the humans to the front. Marood goes over and talks with Cal for a moment. I don't know that any of you would specifically stare at it and be involved, but a quick talk, and Marood quickly looks around the room, goes over and speaks with both Ra and Bess. They both nod, and the 3 of them leave, go back out the flap. Anyone doing anything? Are we still doing what we've been doing?
You and I
bringing
are
in
still
stuff?
outside, aren't we?
And Ray,
I think
you're
so.
still bringing in bedrolls
Okay,
and
if
stuff.
we're still bringing in stuff, yeah.
Probably collecting tent pins now. Okay, so they will leave. You guys will finish bringing the stuff in. As best you can, you're going to try and tack in what I envision is at the front of the cave where the last flap is. You'll bring it in and hit it with a tent peg on the inside. So something that's fairly easy for them to come back through.
I'm also going to do like a superstitious thing I kind of learned, and I'm going to like cut my hand, the same one that's kind of been nasty.
Oh.
I'm going to give that a cut again, and I'm going to squirt blood over the entrance and do like a little prayer that should like, so they don't draw our attention.
Okay, so for all of you guys, which you should now all be inside once he's doing this, you watch Ayden do this.
Ayden, what the hell are you doing?
Making sure, hopefully, that the ghouls won't find us.
So you're gonna put your blood on the entrance to our little cave?
It's just a little bit, just to give it power.
When that's being said, Frankie, go ahead and give me, do you have Thanatology or what is the ability Monster Hunter give you?
Parapsychology is for like the
Yep.
enemies.
Because you have a stunt or a shtick, right? I forgot what they call
I
it.
had gone back outside.
I get it,
Is
but
he outside too? Yeah.
What-
Okay.
but you have the Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And what does that give you?
Well, let me look.
While Frankie's looking for the rest of you. So you've said that to Ayden. He's explained to you loudly what it is. And while you're talking to him, kind of doing the what the hell, you're going to watch Zosser come up and match what he did on the other side of the cave.
You've got to be bloody kidding me.
And he is saying very similar words, although the intonation is slightly different. Frankie.
So what I have is a
I'm gonna
vast,
die here.
a vast amount of knowledge about supernatural enemies from a combination of experience and research.
So that's what I thought it was. So, yeah, go ahead and give me a parapsychology roll.
trapped in a desert, a bunch of superstitious Egyptians, one mad doctor, one a friggin' thrope. The only person I can friggin' trust here is the Mourner.
I got a 21.
I want to say that Frankie hasn't done anything you can't trust
Yeah.
yet.
What are you talking about?
Frankie can be put under mind control.
Yeah.
Frankie has never done anything of his own volition for you to mistrust him.
Something to think about there, I get it. So with a 21, you start thinking about what they're doing.
Anything you not to trust him.
And one of the things that blood has in it is salt. So you put it together that a spirit doesn't cross a salt line. You're thinking that what they're doing, those superstitious, has a basis in some form of real-world connection. It's not as outlandish as Ray is making it sound in your mind because of what you know. That would not be generally known knowledge. That would not be something that probably any of the rest of you would know. But just something to think about as you're realizing it.
I like that Ray thinks we're all nuts.
Oh, I do too. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I have never done anything wrong in my life.
Yeah.
Right,
Keep
not a thing
talking
that you can
about
remember.
That you can't remember.
So you guys start to calm down. The camels are actually starting to make less noise. Maybe a half hour passes. The wind periodically snaps at that tent flap, and then there's a pull at the flap.
Wolf's got the rifle ready just in case it's someone other than Maroon.
There's
or
a
the other
second
two.
pull, and the tent flap pops, and a Zosser comes in. Nope, wrong group. Marood comes in, and they have one more camel with them. And everybody is now inside. So there are 2 camels missing. Anyone who's making that quick count.
Yeah, and that was not another food one.
Nope, that was not another food one.
Okay.
Is
One
my
of-
camel missing?
No.
Oh, cool.
There is one food camel. Actually, to let you guys know, there's one food camel missing, and one of the 2 Bedouins from the most recent camp, one of their camels is missing as well. So everybody is doing the best they can to calm down. I sincerely doubt anyone's going back to sleep. But a half hour passes. There is a sound, but it is nowhere near as intense as the wail was. There is a sound like it off in the distance, and then the wind starts to wind down and go back to just still. All you hear outside, if everybody is quiet besides the camels breathing, which they're making a reasonable racket with that, is you will every so often hear something pelt down coming off the sandstone. What do you guys do as far as bedding down? Are we looking to work back out of the cave? Are we staying here till we see sunlight?
I'll say, well, we've been sitting here quiet. What do any of these do the Bedouins know what the hell went on out there? Have they been down here before?
So I will walk up to the tent flap, and I'm going to kind of cautiously peek out.
That doesn't answer my question.
As you peek out, you'll notice that the wind is not blowing around out there. You can actually see a couple more of the tent pegs that you didn't have, and a few of the pegs that you guys had set the camels with. Aside from that, again, there is almost no wind. Opening the flap very quickly, because there is heat through humidity inside, there's a cold, almost wet feel as you open it.
All right.
I think we should stay in here at least till dawn.
How looking up at the stars, stuff like that. How long before dawn is?
You're thinking it's maybe 3 hours?
Okay. I'll close the tent flap and say, so it looks like the store's died down, but it doesn't necessarily mean that us being out there won't bring it back if the ghosts were doing something.
Ghosts?
I mean ghosts.
Cal's going to stare at you.
The spirits of Akhenaten.
I'll step up alongside him and I'll say, I witnessed them myself. They are in the sands.
And don't think that's as far-fetched as you think. There's a very nice woman back in London. Ray, Ayden, you might meet her one day. Elizabeth, she's great. She knows all about this ghost stuff.
Well, as a man who was recently demonically possessed, I'm going to choose to...
Err on the side of caution and maybe believe.
Did you forget that when you were like, "This is insane"?
No, that's still insane.
That's still insane.
Marud will quietly say from the corner where he is sitting with Cal and with Billings and Mei Ling close, he says, "I too envisioned them."
We should probably wait till dawn when they have no power.
What do you know about these things? Have you seen them before? Is this a common occurrence here? Did you neglect to tell us there would be spirits in the desert?
I didn't neglect. I had hoped we wouldn't have run into them, but spirits come and go. We don't like talking about the dead, as it's sort of a taboo. It means that they drawing attention to them. They might come back and bring with them bad fortune or things. Usually that's why, it's been a long-held tradition in Islam, but that's why we bury people with no markers, so as not to give them a place for their spirit to cling to.
In my homelands, Marud begins, before the Lymans, and you'll see Cal look quickly at Marud, and then just as quickly everything drops out and Cal is back to being unfocused. In my homelands, before I was brought in by the Lymans, I have seen the spirit dance, the ghost dance, and they would come. What I saw today was not, or this evening was not the same, but similar. I don't believe they wish harm. I don't believe they mean harm.
Well, that's good. I doubt we can do much against it anyway.
Before the ruins, there are several things I planned to warn you about. I didn't want to dump them all on you and perhaps cause you wanting to turn back.
Billings pipes up and says, "Well, we're not turning back now. Go ahead, old boy. Tell us what we've got to look forward to."
There are many things. It is not just ghosts you may find in there. You may find there are living shadows, things that are not of this world. They seem to move about and can drain the life force from someone. There are other things, outer worldly things. Some speak of the Dark One, Neo-Hotep, the Black Father. He is like a trickster, demonic. He existed before even the Egyptian gods.
Demonic.
Creatures,
We'll look at Billings.
also, some have seen creatures of unspeakable forms and such.
These shadow creatures, how do you kill them?
If you could figure out a way, you would probably be quite wealthy. All I know is that it's always good to keep a light near you.
You know, when I didn't believe in this stuff, I really didn't have to worry about it. But now, all of a sudden,
I've heard of the creatures of myth that the British have kind of put back to lore. I've heard tales of them existing here. Things like manticores and sphinxes, other creatures.
I thought that was myth. You mean that the Sphinx, Napoleon's Sphinx, it's real?
Napoleon's Sphinx was a statue, but I have heard
But made from reality.
Based on reality, yes.
My Lord. Has anyone seen it? Ask them. And he's pointed towards the Bedouins.
Time.
We have nothing but time, Doctor.
I'll turn to them and say, my friends are interested in anything that you have seen here that is not of this realm, supernatural.
So each pair of Bedouins will look at each other, and the ones that you initially travel with, Ra and Bess, will say, we don't. The Mutasa keeps it away from us. Mm-hmm. Saying that, the other two immediately, and you catch an oddity in it, but they say, "Oh no, that's exactly the same as with ours. We have not dealt with anything like that."
Of course.
it's not like it's scrutinizing this, is there?
I think
Like
there
the sense
is.
motive.
Inside check.
My mentor once told me a story of when him and his partner went into some ruins. they heard the singing of what was like a beautiful creature.
Siren
Or
song,
human.
Billings says.
And he went to go see it despite the warnings of my mentor. And from the shadows, he saw a creature that was half feminine and half lion-esque.
That's the siren. That's the siren.
My mentor called it a lamia, but maybe it is acknowledged. But I believed he saw what he saw.
But that's all well and good. Well, I'd be less concerned about killing a lamia than I would a living shadow. So lamias I'm not really concerned with.
Hell, didn't you guys deal with a giant living statue back in the museum?
Yes, that was interesting as well. And we dealt with you and your possession thing.
The thing is that the British, or my experience with the British, is that everywhere they go, they believe they use science as sort of a barrier. They dismiss the local legends and such. Out here, though, there has not been really any British or great civilization, so as to say. So the things that were once myth have been slowly coming back, is my belief.
Mei Ling speaks. She says, in my country as well, where I come from, the British took over Hong Kong. They took over Singapore. And we have a legend that dates back more than 2,000 years. Fu Leng, our first emperor, China's first emperor, he was placed into a tomb that was also a prison. If that tomb is ever opened, the belief is that his spirit, his scourge, will range across the lands and enslave all humanity again. 2,000 years of mythology that holds up. And she quiets back down.
I suppose the point of this is that you are no longer in Britain, and though I am certain you have dealt with a great many horrors there, the things here defy the rational explanation at times. You must be vigilant, and you must be always observing around you.
Dr. Wolfe, where did you move from, or did you move from?
I did not move from the rocks where I'm at.
Okay. So the two Bedouins, the ones from the most recent, Zasser and his companion, the two of them have got the camels all kind of corralled. In most cases, they've released the reins. In some cases, they've knotted 2 or 3 together.
Gotcha.
From where you're at, give me a wits perception roll.
Mind if I use one of the tokens?
No, go for it.
That's way better.
Well, the camels are making a lot of noise.
17.
So with a 17, you've been hearing the camels, kind of grunt periodically. One of them spins and kicks. Zasser just makes the sound of oof and is thrown a good 8 feet across.
Oh, good lord!
Smacking down right at Ray's feet. He doesn't look great. He's got definite pain on his face, Ray. Dr. Wolfe, for you, go ahead and give me another wits perception roll.
That is the same roll, 17.
17. So something has been niggling at the back of your mind for a while now. You finally realize it's a sound. There is kind of this odd scritch sound that's close by you. And you see the camel kick, and you look down, and there is a scarab beetle chewing into your thigh.
Mother.
Oh.
And we'll end right there.
No!
Oh no.
Nice. Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments, And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.